Matter of fact, I did some research, and the research said that the average millionaire has more than 20 LLCs. But I can guarantee you, we emailed you to notify you when that change was made. I said, well, can you check and see what my business address is on my account? So she pulls it up and she calls out the address, and I'm like, that is not my address. She was like, well, then ma'am, that means that you're probably one of the people who got changed. So now I'm hot, right? Like, I'm upset because the thing is, all of my formal paperwork that I was just bragging about because I had it all together now officially has to be redone because I now have a new address. Without my knowledge, without my consent, it was just changed. What's up, glitter jewels? Welcome to my channel where we find a way to sparkle and shine. Today's video is about the 3 things that I learned while in business my first full year with an LLC. The 3 major things that I learned while having an LLC are, number 1, it's a huge responsibility. Number 2, paperwork is everything. And number 3, LLCs can help you with your tax write-offs. I know some of my glitter jewels got some short attention spans. I'm going to start with the most important one first. How my LLC nearly saved my daggone taxes. Okay, maybe I should give you a little background so you can get the whole picture. I am a school teacher, but in the state of New Jersey and the state of New York, we get paid what we are worth. Not only that, to some degree, they have to pay us high salaries because the cost of living is quite high. With all that said, it's not weird or abnormal for a school teacher to be making 90K, 95, 98, 100, 105, 110K. It's not odd for there to be 6-figure teachers. But we all know the more money you make, the more Uncle Sam takes. A big chunk of what I spent my money on with starting my business could all be written off. I'm talking my new laptop, my MacBook Air that I purchased, my business office materials, my document fees. Like, I paid InkFile to file my business paperwork for me. Like, I didn't do my LLC by myself. I paid InkFile. And I think the fee was like $400 and something, and I was able to get that written off. I have a Glitter Shine hotline, a business hotline number. That's $10 a month. Well, for the total amount for the whole year, able to write it off. I have a website, the amount that it costs to build my website, the amount that it costs to maintain my website, able to write that off. I have a registered agent for my business that takes care of other paperwork. I was able to write that off. So all of those fees, ooh, I was even able to write off at one time before I learned how to edit myself. I had an editor, and my editor is bomb.com, okay? So he is not cheap. You hear me? Not cheap at all. And I had kept all of the receipts of how much I paid him to edit my videos, and all of that was written off. I had even documented and kept the receipts from my trip to New York when I had my 10,000 subscriber celebration, because guess what? I was able to write off that entire trip. So when you have a higher salary and you have all of those deductions, it offsets your salary and makes it look like it's less than it really is. And then you can write that off and pay less taxes. So my LLC saved my behind. And if you got that kind of income where you're starting to make, you know, more than the average bear, if you're making more than 50K and you need a way to hide or balance that out so you don't get hit by Uncle Sam, your LLC can literally be your best friend. Just make sure you keep those receipts. The more you spend, the more you can write off, and the more you can offset your taxes. Matter of fact, I did some research, and the research said that the average millionaire has more than 20 LLCs. And I'm thinking it's because within the first 3 years of having an LLC, there's a lot of startup funds and money you have to put into your business to get it going. So every time you get a new LLC, you have to put money towards it to get it going, and then you can write that money off. So if you have 25 LLCs, you're literally using that same strategy, rinse and repeat every time, and getting more and more write-offs. So that is a backdoor. That's a millionaire strategy of how they go about getting and hiding some of their money. The second most important thing that I've learned while having a business is that paperwork is everything. The more documentation you have, the more power you have. Just like how I was able to use everything that I had documented as far as receipt goes to do write-offs, you also need to keep your paperwork in order as well, because a lot of times when you go to the bank, they want to see this form, they want to see this document. But if you aren't organized and don't have that paperwork, or don't have enough copies printed, or you don't know where the paperwork is, you're going to be in big trouble, because you're not going to be able to move accordingly, because you're not going to have the paperwork that you need to move. With that being said, I'm going to segue into the third thing that I learned, which is having a business is a huge responsibility, because the paperwork is your responsibility. Nobody else's, it's yours. I'm going to give you a quick little story time of something that recently happened. No, I ain't talking about how they played me at the bank. It is something that happened at the bank, but this is very, very recent. So, this was about a week ago, okay? It's cold outside. It's a weekend, Saturday morning, chilly, frosty, and I had decided that I was going to call the bank. But something said, no, don't call the bank. You need to check your end first to make sure your stuff is right before you go complaining. What had happened was I had stopped getting like the every monthly statement that I would get from the bank. I had stopped getting the statements, and I'm like, where's the statements for this bank? Now, mind you, this particular bank account that I'm talking about is my secondary business account. I have a primary credit union business account across town, but in the summertime, I mainly use the other account because it's way closer to my home. In that account, I have to use a little bit more often in the summer. Plus, I like having the two accounts. But nevertheless, I noticed from the secondary account that I had opened over the summer, for some reason, I wasn't getting the statements anymore. And then I said to myself, okay, I'm not getting the bank statements, so let me download the app. And the reason why I didn't have the downloaded app from the get is because, again, I don't use this account that much. I mainly use it in the summertime. But I was like, you know what, I'll download the app, put in all my information, and go into my account to see what's what, because, I can't even track what's what because I'm not getting a statement letter anymore, which is weird. Went in, and I noticed I couldn't get in through the app. It looked like something was blocked or was restricted. Matter of fact, I almost panicked and thought I lost my account completely. But again, because I didn't want to go to the bank and look like an idiot, I was like, it's my responsibility to take a look at all my stuff on my end to make sure that I've got my ducks in a row before I go down to that bank and complain. Hold up. Stop right there. To be continued. Be sure to stay tuned for my next storytime video. It's called That Time I Almost Played Myself at the Bank.